which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The roll call shows everybody's here except for the chairman, Mr. Vinziano. Consent agenda, warrant number 18, 11/29/21. 19, 11/29/21. Payroll number 47, 11/24/21. Number 48, 12/02/21. Number 49, 12/9/21.
Move to accept.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. All in favor? All in favor. Acceptance of the meeting minutes of November 27, 2021.
Move to accept.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? All in favor. Old business, selectmen's concerns from the previous meeting.
I have nothing.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I'm fine.
Nothing for me. Okay, F, items of communication.
So a couple things to share to you. I sent out by email to most folks that letter that came from the town of Norridgewock that was letting people know that they're going to be doing some work on Father Rawl Road, and so they're going to close the whole road. We don't know exactly when and what they're going to do yet. They're having their selectmen meeting on Wednesday, and people that have comments about this are invited to come to that meeting. There is a Zoom link, but if you go to the Zoom, you can't comment. You can just watch. If you want to make public comment on it, it's they've got to be done in person. So if you know where Twin Oaks Drive is, you go past the Father Rawl Cemetery, right over the line into Norridgewock, probably about 600 or 800 feet past that is where they're concerned about erosion. I don't know if you've seen it or know what they're talking about, but
Yeah, it's about 2,000 feet. And speaking with the road commissioner, the road foreman down there this morning, they are still undecided of what they're going to do, if they're going to close the whole road down. But some of the residents that live there will have to go all the way around. Then there's a plowing issue, and just some other things that need to be discussed. So they're not really sure what direction they're going to be heading in until Wednesday night.
so I just want to make that publicly known if people want to attend that or call over the Norridgewock Town Office at meetings on Wednesday at 6. You'll see some activity down at the old mill where Go Labs is. Ranger is down there doing some site work. They're subcontracted under Chimbro, and Chimbro should be mobilizing down there. Looks like they were taking care of some of the lights in the parking lot today. So you're going to see some activity down there, which is a good thing. And Go Labs should be finalizing their financing this week. So things are moving forward. So this meeting is the only meeting in December. This will be the last meeting of the year. There's not another scheduled select board meeting until January the 10th. However, we'll still be doing warrants on the same schedule. So there should be a warrant on the 27th.
Correct.
Yeah, there'll be a warrant, and you'll get a call to come in and sign that warrant on the 27th to take care of accounts payable and all that. And that is all I have.
Okay, new business, department heads reports. Who wants to start? Donnie?
I'll guess so. The reason we're here tonight is we all know we need to replace the 1990 tanker pumper. We've been doing a lot of research online for used tankers to maybe try to go that route first. The only one that we've really found was $250,000. It's a 2018 with a new body from the cab back. And the truck itself, it's got 72,000 miles on it. So we as a group didn't know if this would fit the town's needs or not. We haven't seen it. It's down North Missouri, I believe. So we've been investigating, hey, if this is $250,000, can we build one for under $350,000? With the cost of metal, I'm not sure if that's possible. It could be very possible, but these things go way up to $500,000. So we, as a group, we've got a committee of probably 6 or 8 guys, and we're trying to build something that's going to be compatible for the town of Madison, not only today, but 5 years, 10 years down the road. with such a shortage of firefighters. We have 9 firefighters in town and 9 out of town. That's very short. If Marty and I are not around during the day, we have nothing really to drive out there. Thank God Dan and the farm crew can leave there. If Marty's in town, he'll come. Scotty's off, he'll come. But today's day and age, with a new tanker, we're gonna probably, tanker pumper, we're gonna probably use this truck for our first out truck. We'll have 3,000 gallons of water there. And I've been a firm believer all these years, if you can get 3,000, 4,000 gallons of water there before you hit a hydrant in town, or even out of town, where you've got to shuttle water, you're probably gonna save the property. So why we're here tonight, I understand we've raised around $200,000. And if we build the truck and get it spec'd out in 3 or 4 different places, we say we do come in for under 350,000. We have 200,000 saved now. What we are asking the board is, do we continue trying to build a truck? You know, it's a lot of work building a truck. You've got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and thank God Dan and the crew's been there to help me. I've never been through actually building a truck, but there's a lot to it. Anywhere from the ball valves in there, the spot chains on it, foam, deck gun, room for storage of everything. So I guess what we want to know is, would the town back us and maybe possibly another 150,000 to be raised for next fiscal year come June? If we got 200,000 now, if we can come in with a truck for under $350,000, I would guess we're kind of don't know how long a quote would be good for. If we wait till June and ask them for a quote, we'll probably, with the way the metal rises and all this, would be even more than 350,000. So if we can get a okay to go ahead and get the okay for you guys supporting us with another $150,000, then we'll try to build a truck, throw some specs out to a lot of competitors, and go from there.
I think one of the reasons that Don and I talked about coming tonight is to make sure that the board and the fire department are on the same page. Because last time that you talked about this, they were still looking for that used 2018, something like that. And some of the concerns that the select board brought up is, you know, are you buying a pig in a poke if you buy a used vehicle? So $150,000 was raised last year at town meeting, and that's sitting in the bank, if you will. And this board added 50,000 to come from the ARPA funds to go towards that purchase. And at that time, the way we left it was, that's 200,000. If you find something good, used, you've got this money earmarked, ready to go. I think since then, and what your committee has found and looking out there, is that probably used isn't the way to go if you can find a company that can build one and build it to your specs. So I wanted the board to be on the same page with the fire department that they're trying to spec this truck out now with the intention of asking for another 150,000 at town meeting this coming year. We have tried the grant route 7 years in a row to get a fire truck, and what I learned this year, and I wish I'd learned it 5 years ago, is every town under 25,000 people competes in the rural category. And the largest call volume amongst those towns nationwide sets the bar for call volume. So we've just not been able to generate enough call volume to get into that pool to get a grant for a truck like this. So I guess I appreciate what Chief said, and I would be in agreement with them. I would encourage the fire department to build this truck now in the anticipation of bringing the money forward at town meeting.
Donnie, would you give me a breakdown of what this truck is and what it's going to consist? I mean, is this a 3-man cab, 4-man cab?
We're gonna go 2-man cab.
2-man cab?
We can't even fill our 5 and 6-man cab.
And then what's going behind that?
3,000 gallons of water.
Okay.
How's that compare to what you got now for a tanker?
The one we have now is a 2-man cab, 3,000 gallons of water.
Okay.
The thing is, it's 31 years old.
I don't have a problem, Donnie, of supporting the fire department, but I got stung once by doing that. I was on the board way back in the early 2000s when we bought a fire truck. this 4, 5, 6-man cab fire truck, and was told, they had a demonstrator up there that was told it was gonna cost X number of dollars. And we didn't have a problem with that. The next thing I know, I was asked to sign the warrant, and it was about $80,000 above what I was told. I never did sign that warrant, and you can check the archives down there, and I never will sign that warrant.
And you shouldn't.
And I don't have a problem supporting you, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from. You know, if we've got $200,000 sitting there waiting for a fire truck, and we can accomplish the mission, or you can accomplish the mission for another $150,000, to me, that's cheap insurance for this town. Everybody in here, everybody in this town owns something that can catch fire. So as far as I can, that's cheap insurance. But I probably would ask you that, as you were mentioning, you know, prices of metal and everything's going up all the time, you know, probably try to get something locked in as soon as possible.
That's why we're here tonight, is to see if we can lock something in. I think in a good month's time, we can build this, what we want, get it out to the vendors, get it back to us, and then come back to you folks and say, hey, we're gonna build this truck for $333,000, no more, no less, and we'll go that route.
Yeah, I'd be very satisfied with that, Don. I support you 100%.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna tell me, you know, I know you can't hit the nickel on the same penny, that's for sure. But something that's reasonable, you know, if you can get the truck and it's gonna cost you a little bit less, fine. If it's gonna cost you just a little bit more, come see us.
Right.
Come see us.
Right.
You know, come see us with a reason, and I'm sure this board will work with you. I will, for
What I'm
sure.
hoping out of this is, if we raise this money this year for $150,000, we have a 1995 over the company too, and another 5 or 6 years, we're gonna have to replace that. That'll be 30 years old. So after this year, if we can just start setting 50,000 away, 50,000 away, we get to this point, we won't need 150,000. Hopefully that money's there, that we can build the truck and go from there.
Yeah. That's what we've done in the past as far as capital goes with the highway department. You know, set so much away aside, and then when you need something, you're not going to town meeting and ask for $100,000 to $200,000.
Right.
People don't like those figures.
No? I don't
You know,
that.
if you take one bite at a time, you'll get there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What's the lead time on those, Don?
Excuse me?
The lead time. How long, once you order it, how long will it take to get the vehicle, a truck?
9 months to a year,
Wow.
6 months to a year.
That's no bad today.
No.
So it probably wouldn't come in till late 22.
It's gonna be well after June.
Right.
It'll get probably by early next year.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the end of next year.
Any other questions?
So if I could too, guys, Ron, I appreciate what you said about the mission of the truck, because that's exactly where we started. That's the first thing that I asked, you know, what is the mission of this truck? Because we don't want to take anything away from currently what we have today for the town of Madison, and we don't want to shortchange ourselves going into the future. We don't know what the future is going to bring. But what I would ask, if this is anybody on the panel that would love to come in and sit down with us, we'd like to have you there to see the process that we go through, just to see the different designs, the discussions we have. You may see something that you've seen elsewhere that could help us during this venture, but you know, every bit of information is appreciated, and it really helps us with the process, because it is a long, tedious process of putting a truck together. It really is, to do it right, so.
Anything else?
No, I just like to point out, we do need town meeting approval to finalize this, that's all.
So I guess the reason that Don and I talked about making sure you're all on the same page is, one, the selectmen are the one that puts the budget together to go to town meeting. So you've got to be in favor of it. Then you've got to talk about it with the budget committee. And you know, based on what we did last year, it would seem highly unlikely that the town would not vote to complete a truck purchase if they voted last year to start a truck purchase. And I think it's even better if we give them a hard number and say, this is it. So, but you're right, it's all dependent on town meeting vote.
And I think, you're right 100%, Tim, but things seem to flow better when you can show them you've got 2/3 of the cost already sitting there waiting for it.
For us, it's no sense of us working hard to try to build a truck now, December, if we gotta wait till, I understand what you're saying, but if we gotta wait till June,
Right.
we're gonna just stop this process, because, you know, the bids are gonna be totally different. I think, well, I would almost guess you'd add $50,000 to it right now, I'm guessing.
So based on what you said earlier, Don, do you think you can bring some bids back by the end of January?
I think so, yes.
So we'll have a meeting, I think, on the 24th of January.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Any other questions?
Gentlemen up there.
Oh,
How many bids or would you folks like to see? How do you want to put this out? Because we could do whatever you'd like, because as you said, these prices, depending on manufacturer, will go from here to here in a hurry. You know, and when we build our spec, we will build what we want for a vehicle as far as the aluminum, the thickness of the aluminum, the ball valves, right down to every rivet, you know, so we just need to know, what would the board like to see? How many bids would you like to see on this?
Well, I can speak for the board because we do have to have a procurement policy, and so we've got one in place. They signed it, I'm sure they've all memorized it when they signed it.
Okay.
But it simply says multiple bids, which means at least 2.
Okay,
Our practice has been 3.
right, yep, that's what I've done in the past, okay. Good.
Mike?
I have been on a fire truck bid before. If you want me there, I would be willing to join you guys.
Absolutely.
It was a while ago, but I didn't go through it, so.
Now, if we do get the bids back by January, is that telling us that we're gonna order this truck then? After you guys, okay, or we gotta wait till June? Because if we wait till June, I don't think they'll hold that price till June. That's gonna be the,
Here's my recommendation, because like Mr. Mantor said, you know, it's up to town meeting. I think it's highly likely that town meeting would pass it. I'm in agreement with you. I would like to see you start ordering this truck now rather than delaying that 6 months. And we have access to other funds, although we can't spend them on everything, but we have access to those other funds with the ARPA money that could be a fallback. If something goes haywire at town meeting, we do have those funds already here in the bank. And that's something that would be under the selectmen's purview. So that's my recommendation.
that sounds good.
Back in '07, when we got the last one for over East Madison, the board then, they bought the chassis. They knew who was going to build the truck, all the footwork was done, the design of the truck was in, the manufacture of the truck was done. They pre-bought the chassis, and by doing that, that got that chassis locked down, so another vendor couldn't come in and get it. That being said, if that's even a remote possibility, that may be an avenue to kind of look at now. Chassis are so far out right now because of trying to get caught up with the epidemic over the last year and a half, so that may be an option. I don't know if you'd want to look at that. Once we decide on what the manufacturer is going to be, because we can do that, we can have a set of prints, and know that up front. We can get all that footwork done, so just an option.
I think that was a good idea. I think that's what we did on that fire truck that I was on, that committee. That you order the chassis and then you know you have it, and hopefully you can get something close to what you want. It may not be exactly, but today, in today's world, close is better than none, so.
Okay, anything else?
none.
Okay, move on, Jeff.
Well, everyone worked over through most of the weekend because of the snow and the rain throughout the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. The two gentlemen that we hired for the part-time, for the seasonal full-time, only wanted to work part-time and be on an on-call basis, so actually it worked out pretty good for the town, so they only get called when it storms. Our fall leaf pickup is complete. We picked up 35 loads of leaves in our little green vacuum. You guys have seen that around town, so that's quite a few leaves, quite a project. The new sidewalk machine, I got a couple pictures here. You pass this around. Arrived last week, and Larry had a chance to use it this weekend to do some sanding. We're waiting for a plow, which should be in this week, because that one wasn't quite the right one that we wanted. And he's been using the old one until we get our new plow. The new gas boiler up to the garage has been installed and is working. It's working very well, along with our waste oil furnace that we kept to burn our waste oil that we get. And the lighting has been completed in our new parts room that we took and had to refabricate the old oil room, because our parts room was in the boiler room where the furnace was, and the insurance company wouldn't let us have a parts room in there anymore. So Andrew Heald has come in and finished up the wiring over the weekend, and we're all good to go with the new parts room.
Any questions? Okay, I guess that's it.
Yeah, you got the sheriff's report there in writing, so.
Right.
We're gonna, excuse me, we're gonna run retail.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Donnie, don't forget at your next meeting, give Glenn a call.
Yes.
Set him up within your meeting time.
I'll get your number.
Okay.
He's got to fit you into his schedule.
Okay, number 2, discuss payment for matching grant funds.
So we had one set of receipts come in for a course in Blaisdell. Back when the board approved the grants, they had submitted for a $7,500 roof project. That project is complete, and we've got proof of payment. And so they've paid out $7,500, and they're just looking for a motion from you to pay them 50%, which is $3,750, and we're paying these out of the ARPA funds.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor? All in favor. Okay, number 3, discuss transfer of funds, G accounts.
So I hope you had an opportunity just to look over this sheet that came as your attachments, probably on the very back page of your packet. Tammy helped me with this to kind of prioritize the top 6 or 7 accounts. These are dedicated accounts. In other words, what's in this account has to be used for the purpose it's dedicated to. This is not an exhaustive list. There's more than this, but these are the ones that are significant for our discussion tonight. And I'll read it into the record that, you know, these accounts are made up of what we spent on legal expenses. You see there's a balance in legal expenses of a little over $15,000. That's the money we put away every year if we got a refund from the sheriff's department. And that money was used to pay specifically our legal costs for the abatements with Madison Paper and Eagle Creek. All other legal costs we budget for in our administrative budget, and that budget runs between $7,000 and $10,000. So if we need a lawyer to look over a document, look over a contract, something like that, that's paid for out of the regular budget. This is what paid for those 2 abatements. The next one down is foreclosure sales, roughly $23,500. Every time the town sells a property that is taken in foreclosure, after everything's paid off, the taxes, the light bill, the sewer, water, if that applies, the remainder goes into this account. And we utilize this account to go clean up properties. Now, just as a reminder, in the January meeting, you'll be discussing the property on Hayden Street when you talked and gave that gentleman extended it till December 31st. I got to follow up with him, but he sounded like he was in agreement to let the town tear it down, pay for it if he could, but if he couldn't, he understood that was going to be added to his tax bill. So we've got to take some necessary steps. And if we do reach out with a contractor to tear down that house, this is the account we'll pay it out of. And then slowly over time, we'll get that money back. The next account is the police vehicle account, just under $50,000 in that. Again, when we have received our refunds from the county, we stock this to traditionally buy a new cruiser each year. One of the things you've been discussing, and we'll discuss more as we get into the budget, is what will the police budget look like in this coming year? Will we change to the new model? And does that mean that we're going to be buying a car every year? So that will impact this account.
Now, in this account, is this what we get about every year? Or do we keep putting money into this account till it builds up to this amount?
Yeah, we have probably put 2 years worth of refunds in that
So
to
it takes
that
us
amount.
2 years to get to this?
Yeah, and that's a very good point, because depending on the model that you choose for policing, you will get less of a refund, if no refund at all. And the refunds were bigger years ago, but we've kind of figured out how to match that so that they get smaller and smaller. Like this year, I don't anticipate our refund from the county to be much more than $25,000, $30,000. So at some point, the first year, I think it was close to $75,000, $80,000. So, which was good because it funded a lot of legal bills. So the last three are well, beach access is a little confusing. I believe, and Tammy has done some research on this, back 15, 20 years ago, there was an effort by the town to try to raise money to purchase the totem pole, the old sandy beach. Some of you who've been around may remember that. Economic Development was writing some grants and trying to do that so the town would buy it, and that obviously didn't go anywhere. And the best we can think is this is money that was kind of set aside for that, but it's never been used. With that in mind, the next two are playground accounts. The Main Street playground account, about $500, and then this playground right out here is $600. The difference between the two playgrounds is the Main Street one was raised all by grants and donations from individuals. No taxpayer dollars went into that playground. Well, the same can be said about this one over here. Here at Old Point, no taxpayer dollars went in, but one individual family paid for everything. The Fortin family paid for everything that's out there. So I'm not in favor of mingling those two accounts because the Old Point playground was dedicated from one particular family. I would like to put some more money in this Main Street playground account because we need to do some work up at Main Street. We probably need about $3,500 worth of chips to put in the base there, as that base compacts every couple of years. That playground has been there. It's been there 8.5 years. And we've done chips twice. So they've stayed pretty well. But every couple of years, you really need to spend the money and get all the tons over here and spread it out. It also needs a new piece of equipment. We've taken out 2 pieces of equipment over the last couple of years. Both of them were motion pieces, and people like playing on them. Adults like playing on them, and it wears out all the mechanisms. So we took the Teeter-Totter out and the merry-go-round. I'm wising up now. I know it's fun, but I'm going to put climbers, not motion, because climbers last a lot longer. So I would propose to spend about $7,000 next spring, $3,500 on chips and about $3,500 on a climbing unit to replace the merry-go-round. So what I'm asking you is to consider closing out the beach access account and transferring all that money to the Main Street playground account. So that's one action. And the other one I would like to recommend is take $5,000 out of the legal expense and transfer it to the Main Street playground. That would give us the cash that we need to make those changes to that playground.
Yes, Mr. Moody.
Tim, I only have one thing. You said you had 2 pieces of playground there that wore out,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. And I can understand that motion circular thing that was up there, I don't know what you call it. But I personally, just me, I would like to see a set of teeters go back there. Since I was a kid, I've never been to a playground that didn't have teeters in it.
So I'll circle
And
back
if
to you.
it, and if it's worn out, I guess they use the heck out of
They
it.
did, and I'll circle back to you. And this may be the Ronald Moody Memorial Teeter-Totter, if the price is right.
Carla, what you doing?
Thank you though.
I'd just like to say there must be a different type of teeter-totter than that one. That
Yeah.
was not a very good design.
No, it wasn't.
Well, and I think after we ended up taking it out, I talked to the company, and they discontinued that,
Yeah.
because that box broke on so many different
Same
ones.
way with the merry-go-round, it just wasn't built heavy.
Yeah, but they still sell the heck out of those merry-go-rounds.
Oh, yeah.
So, when you get this built, can you give Ron a call, see if he'd be the first one on it? Get the cameras up there?
It'd be a good town report photo.
Yes.
Bob will be on the other side.
I'll be the one up in the air.
You'll jump off and you'll.
Okay,
So what do you want, excuse me,
Go ahead.
go ahead. What do you want for a motion down there?
For accounting, do you want two separate?
Yes.
So it'll be two separate transactions. The first one will be to close out the beach access account and transfer $3374.75 to the Main Street Playground account.
Okay.
And then the second one would be to take $5,000 out of the legal expense and transfer it to the Main Street Playground.
Okay, I think I understand that. I'll make that motion that we take $5,000 out of legal expenses and put it into the Main Street Playground account and take.
No, that's
Do
it.
them in two separate motions.
Yeah.
So if
Okay,
you stop right there.
I'll stop right there on that one.
I'll
Second that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we had a bunch of seconds here.
Yeah, that means
So, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? All in favor. Okay, Mr. Moody, got another one?
Yeah, how much you wanna take out? Oh, you want to put all of that?
I want to close it, yeah, so.
Okay, the motion I'll make is to close the beach access account of $3,374.75 and put it with the Main Street Playground account.
I'll second that.
Got a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All in favor.
Thank you very much. Does the board have any other questions about these accounts? If you do, you can always talk to Tammy.
Okay. Selectmen concern. So,
I'm all set, thank you.
Mike,
I'm all set.
Ron?
Good.
Okay, I just have one. On these 3-year tax, people behind 3 years in their tax, you're gonna send this letter, you send it out in January, is it?
So I talked with Kathy, and we determined that February 25th, which is a Friday,
Right.
is the foreclosure date. So Kathy has to send out a letter between 30 and 45 days back from that. So she doesn't want to do it on Christmas. So probably early January, she'll send out the foreclosure notices. Right now, the list is down to about 39 people. And I've got a list of phone numbers for people that aren't what I call the frequent flyers. The frequent flyers, we know they're always going to come in right at the end. But somebody new that shows up on this list, I usually try to track them down, make a phone call, stop by. So Kathy and I are in the process of doing both of that right now.
You know, can I have a blank copy of that letter? I assume it's gonna be mostly, basically the same type of letter, right, Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so can I just see a copy of that?
Yeah, we can print you out a copy because it's saved in our computer.
Okay,
So you want a copy of the foreclosure notice? That's what
Right,
she
yeah.
sends. That's what Kathy sends out. Yep. All right.
because I'm still not happy about it, but that's me.
All right.
Okay, Citizens' concerns, you two have any concerns? Tammy? Jeff? You all set? Okay. And motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned. And it is 7:05.
Good job.
6.